Yeah, I had always wanted to be a doctor. There's no other professions for me since my parents were doctors and they were doing great job all over the district of Nalbari. So whenever I was in home, I used to see the works they are doing, the good works. So I always wanted to be a doctor.
I will start by saying before I knew that I wanted to be a doctor, I always wanted to be a active contributing member of the society. I always wanted to make an impact on the society and on people by being an active member of the society or a valuable citizen.
Yes, I have always aspired to be a doctor since childhood, and I am living my dream right now.
When I was studying in my high school, I got more attracted towards biology and chemistry and those kind of subjects, and I got to interact with many peoples or alumni. I listened to their views, and I tried to discover myself always to find my own strength and weakness. And eventually, what I found is that I used to enjoy connecting to people, listening to their stories, being compassionate or being able to sympathize with their suffering. And then the field of medicine always was alluring with all recent discoveries and ever expanding field with the ability to diagnose and use of new science and technologies and the kind of impact that it can have on somebody's life. And it's not only one patient, you treat one patient and you have an influence on the entire family or the society.
Aim in our life, I always wrote that I wanted to be a pediatrician.
So after considering all these pros and cons, I found myself that this is the right path or this is the right career that suits my need or my strengths, and this is where I'm going to find my happiness, and that's how I chose to be a doctor.
If we keep a regular balance in our personal and as well as our professional life, I hope we can manage both of them. But being a doctor, there are many times that we have to prioritize our professional life more than our personal life, because at the end of the day we have to save a patient's life. So I think we have to make some sacrifices.
Whenever we cure our patients, so that time it gives us satisfaction to us that okay, it's worth it.
And being a doctor, it's a busy schedule. You have a very taxing or demanding professional life, but it's important to maintain the balance between the professional life and personal life. So I usually keep my weekends free so that I can spend some time with my family, and everybody gets 24 hours in a day. So I think the only option is that use the time judiciously, stay away from screen, and whatever time you get, instead of looking at the screen, look into people's eyes or listen to people, talk to them. And I think that's how I manage my personal and professional life.
Sometimes we are unable to go and attend our family functions, but it's worth it because whenever I decided to join this profession, I knew that there will be some point when I have to choose my professional life over my personal life, and sometimes I think it's worth it.
All professionals have their own goals to attend and to goal to achieve. So for that, you have to manage. The time management is most crucial because most of the time you have to be with your profession or your center or your clinic, but some amount of quality time you have to give to your families also, to the society also. So there should always be a balance between profession, personal, and also social life.
Yes, I was devastated last year when I didn't know what to do. I had to quit a year to study for my post graduation, and it's not easy to quit another year for of your career to sit at home and take and study for a year. And I think that's worth it because I have qualified the entrance exams for my post graduation. Now I am also happy right now and content with my life.
One lady had come around 5-6 years back. He was very much ill. So with all my efforts and our joint efforts, she got well. She during her dishes, she bid her bye to everyone, every staff. She was quite happy. The attendants were happy. They were from Mangaldoy, which, if I remember correctly. So as soon as they left around an hour after she left, there was a phone call from her son that she has collapsed midway in Sangsari around 30 to 40 kilometers from Nalbari, and they returned back and the lady had suddenly collapsed and died on the spot. So that was a moment in my life when I couldn't make out anything like how she died, how she collapsed, because she was quite well, she was happy during her discharge.
In my career, when I lost one of my patients, knowingly that after all my effort the patient cannot be saved, at that time I was lost. But since from that time I have cured much more of patients. So right now it's okay, and it feels good now because I have saved lots of life also.
There have been not one but few instances or some instances in my life when I felt that this is what I wanted in my life. When I used to treat patients, and the patients when they got cured of their illness, they come to me and say thanks to me. That is really very satisfying, because this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted, that my patients should smile, patients attendants should thank me. This is I wanted, and obs and gynae postings when I was delivering the baby. That gives me immense pleasure, because I am helping a new life to be born out in this beautiful world. Actually,
I'm not sure if I got exactly what I wanted in my life, and I think that's a question where there is never an end to human ambition. Today I achieve something, tomorrow my goal or target is going to be different. But having said that, there is a point, or we should know about our limits, or there needs to be a line where we need to feel contented. My dream was that I always wanted to practice medicine in a more structured and in a more organized fashion, where I get the opportunity to practice evidence-based medicine. And I think right now I'm working with the world's finest team and world's best people. So I think I'm happy with what I found what I wanted in my life.
The moment when I cured my, in fact I saved the first life of my first patient, it was that time when I felt that yes, right now I'm doing what I wanted to do actually.
For the first time when I delivered a baby for the first time, at that time a sudden rush of emotions went through me. At that time I knew that this was a place where I wanted to be for the rest of my life.
As soon as you put on the white coat, you have a different identity in the society. But end of the day, every doctor is also a human being. They have all have their own desires. They have their own ambitions. Apart from treating the patient, they are also a human being. So whenever some news of some incident involving attenders and the doctor comes in the news or in the media, we feel very bad, because after all our efforts we put into that, we don't think of our emergency at home, social emergency I mean. We are doing our duties as it comes with all our hard work we put there. Suddenly, due to some incident, one patient dies and all the attenders come and hit the doctor. So this is one of the very bad phenomena which is in our society. So we have to change that.
I just want to tell everyone that being a doctor is not easy. We are also human. We also commit mistakes. I understand that there are many loopholes. The patients die, but that is not solely due to doctor. And being money-minded, I would like to say that mastering a skill, or I mean to say that diagnosing a disease or anything related to it, a doctor requires a lot of he undergoes a lot of effort, hard work through these years of his study. Now he is diagnosing a disease in seconds or in minutes. That doesn't mean he has done it all along this way in his life. For the attendants, don't just blindly think that, oh, this doctor is charging too much because he just spent 5 minutes on me. Why to charge so much? That is not like that. Okay, there are some loopholes, I understand.
Not a single doctor want to lose their patient or their life. So just trust your doctor.
Yes, I think this COVID pandemic situation, it has made everyone understand that doctors are part of everyone's life. Nobody can imagine their life without a doctor. We should coexist. Even we need help of others.
As a human being, every doctors have their own hobbies, and quite a few doctors have made a good use of their hobbies, like they are well-known singers, some are actors. So end of the day, every doctor is also a human being. So society should understand that the doctor is putting all his effort into his profession, and he should be treated as a human being first.
A day without a doctor is actually unimaginable, because that will not happen for sure. But if by somehow all the doctors of the world take a leave or just disappear for one day, then we will able to see that the population has decreased. A lot of people will die, and that shouldn't happen actually. Coming to this COVID-19 situation only, the doctors are working day and night since March in India. They are screening, they are doing isolation duties, they are doing other OPD duties. They are working really hard, and some of them are underpaid, overworked. And the doctors are very crucial in this amount of in this time, COVID-19 crisis time, because if one day the doctors will not be there today, then the patients will just die. Many of them will be undiagnosed. People will spread in their communities. This is just for this instance, and in another way, if the doctors are disappeared, then I think that is totally unimaginable.
Without a doctor, our centers wouldn't run. Even for our small emergency can be from a headache to a particular person to a massive heart attack. So in any emergencies, in any conditions, you need a doctor. So the world is incomplete without a doctor.
The day without a doctor is going to be the apple picking day, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Jokes apart. But I think that's what we all want as a physician, or as your healthcare provider. That's all we want, or that's the dream of every physician, that people never need our service anymore. So that that's why we focus so much in prevention. That's why we spend so much of research, time and energy in preventing a disease, educating people, empowering our patients so that they can have more control over their health, or they can choose their own treatment path or the treatment modalities. So I hope we very soon will find a day, or we'll find a world where you won't need doctors at your service and you will be the owner of your own health.